everyone. Today's video, we're going to use some of the vocabulary that we learned about libraries from the last video. And I'm going to use some of these words to tell you about how to use the Lincoln City Libraries. So what is this video about? So there's a couple parts to this video. The first part is this video has information about how to contact Lincoln City Libraries and how to get a library card. The second part is about how to use an online library catalog and how to request books. And the last part is about how to read a call number if you were at the library in person. So here is just some contact information for the Lincoln City Libraries. So this first line I have up here is the library's website is at lincolnlibraries.org. And later in the video, I'll show you the website, kind of what's on the website, how to use it, and just what it looks like. And I know I had this picture in my last video, but just as a reminder, there are 8 locations and 8 libraries, so it has their addresses here and their phone numbers here. So I have all of these listed right here. And you can also find this photo. You can find all of these phone numbers and addresses on the website also. So this first part is how to apply for a library card. So library cards are free for people who live in Lincoln. If you apply for a library card in person when the library is open again, you have to show a photo ID and a proof of your address. So different options that you can bring in for a photo ID can include a driver's license. You could bring in a school ID if you're currently going to school. If you've been in the military, you can bring in a military ID. And you can also bring in a passport. And I bet most of you would have a passport at the very least. But besides these, any form of ID with a photo of you on it would work. So the other thing you need is a proof of your address. So this is basically just anything that has your address on it and something that shows that you live at a certain address. So there's several ways that you can do this. If you bring in a driver's license that has your address on it, the driver's license will cover both the photo ID and the proof of your address. So that is a really easy one to bring in if you have a driver's license. Other things you can bring in is if you have a checkbook from the bank, you could bring that in to show your address. You could bring in any bill with your address on it. That includes the electricity bill or the water bill, cell phone bill, whatever, if you still get bills in the mail, whichever one that you have on hand. And you can also use any sort of recent piece of mail. So and this is anything that's been mailed to you in the last 30 days. So, for example, if your sister sent you a letter 5 days ago, you could bring that in. And if it has your address on it, if the envelope has your address, then that should work. But yeah, this is kind of what you would do if you apply in person. So this is how you can apply for a library card on the phone. So if you want to get your library card like very soon, if you don't want to wait until the libraries reopen, this is how you can do it. So I actually recently got my library card on the phone because I'm not allowed to go into the libraries because of coronavirus. So this is exactly what I did to get my library card. So the first thing that'll happen is the librarian on the phone will ask you for your name, address, birthday, phone number, email, and I do not remember if she asked for other personal information, but there may or may not be other personal information, but it's nothing, it's not too much. So once they have your address and everything, they will mail the library card to your house or apartment or wherever you live, and then you can actually use that card to start checking out books. However, when the library reopens, you have to show your ID to show that you have received the card, and then that way you'll be in the system for good. And actually, as I said, right now, if you get a library card, or if you have a library card right now already, you can request books online or on the phone. And I forgot to include this in the video, but when you have a library card, it is good for 1 year. And then once 1 year is over, you can just renew your library card, which means it will just work for a whole nother year again. But yeah, it's a pretty simple process. And if you are interested in getting a library card, and if you want any help, just let me know. So this next part is how to use the online library catalog. So I'm going to do this by showing it to you directly. So I'm going to go on the internet. So this is Lincoln's Library's website. So if we look around, has a lot of different information. You can find location and hours here. This is just about information. If you have any questions about the libraries, there's just a lot of different stuff. You can look at recent, events and classes. If you have kids, you can look under the kids and teens section. But yeah, it just has this main page just has a lot of news about the libraries, about how they'll be closed for Memorial Day. It has information about COVID-19. There's just a lot of different stuff on this website. But what I'm going to show you is how to use the library catalog, which is right here in this upper right corner. So on the main page of the website, there's a search bar for the library catalog. And this is what I'm showing you right here. This is right here. This is what we call a search bar. So what you'll do is you will search the name of the book that you want to read. So I'm going to take a book that I am reading right now, and it's called Just Kids. So I type in Just Kids, I can search it. So here it's going to show me all the different results that I might be looking for. So actually, this is what I'm looking for right here. This is the same book. It's just two different versions of it. So it'll say if the book is available, it'll tell you what library the book is at and what the call number is. So right here on this first option, so the author of this book, it has right here, so the name of the book is Just Kids. The author of the book is Patti Smith. They'll always put the last name first and then the first name. It has the year it came out, and then it has the call number right here. So if we look on here, it says that there's 0 available. And that's actually because I have the copy right now. However, if we look just down here, it has all of the same information. It has the publication date, which is just the year it came out, the author, it has the call number, and there's actually, for this copy of the book, there's actually 6 copies available. So what we can look at is, if we click on it, it'll load for me, okay. So it'll just kind of have a little bit about the book, the title, the author, when it was published. It'll have a summary, which is just what the book is about. It has all sorts of information. So if we go down here, it'll actually show you all of the different libraries that the book is available at. So this book is available at 6 of the different libraries in Lincoln. It'll have the call number listed here, just different information about it, but I can close out of this. But yeah, I'll kind of just show you where the book is. So when you have a call number and you want a book, if you want to get it in person, you can write down the call number here. Otherwise, if you want to order the book online, you click place hold. So what you'll do in that case, you'll click place hold. Normally it'll pop up with oh yeah, so here I actually have to enter in my library card number, and then actually every library card number, I forgot to mention, has a 4-digit PIN number. So you make up that number, and it's basically just a password for using your library card. So if I were to type in my library card number here, I'm just making things up, and log in, I can just go in and I can just place the hold on the book. It's pretty easy to do. And actually, and then, so once you place a book on hold, they'll pretty much have it ready for you the next day. They'll give you a call. That's what they did for me. I got this book a few weeks ago, and the next day after I placed a hold on it, they called me, and they're like, oh, your book is ready for pickup. That's what they're doing right now, so you'll have to go to the library and pick up the book outside. However, if you want to find it yourself in the library, you will have to write down the call number, and you can find the section that the book is in. So this is kind of just a little guide on how to read a call number. So the first line is going to have letters, and this is just the subject of the book. So you see these letters first here, and you read it in alphabetical order. The second line is just a few numbers. So this is just another way of showing the subject of the book. There's a third line. It's a mix of letters and numbers. So this kind of just shows the author of the book, or maybe even the title of the book. It's just kind of like an ID number for it. And then this fourth line is when the book was published, or which just means when it was written. So if you're going to go to the library in person, you're going to want to write down the number that the book has. So in my case, I would write down music 718.66, and then it actually just says Smith Patty for the call number, but this one's a little bit different. So I will show you a little bit. I found this cool little guide about how to read call numbers. So it kind of just says, like, it kind of starts out with like what the letters mean. You don't really need to read into all of this. This is just a way of finding the books, but it kind of shows you how it all works and like what the call number means. If you're interested in checking out this website, let me know. Oops, let me go back up to the top. But it kind of just shows the same sort of information that I showed you here. It just tells you how to read it, what it means. And then this last part is, so how to find the book in the library. When you know the call number of the book, write it down. So the library is made into sections with the first and second lines of the call number to help you find the books. So this will be usually, it'll usually have these sections will usually be on the side of the bookshelf, like right here. And then So when you have found the correct bookshelf or the correct row that your call number, that your book would be in, so you'll go into the row, and so all of the books are going to be in alphabetical, and they're going to be in number order. So after you kind of look through the rows, you have to just kind of narrow it down to find the book. But if we look even closer here, so you see all of these books are in the Z section, but this is all in numerical, like number order. So here we have like 682.5, and then you see right here, this book, it says 683.2. So this shows that since this is 83, that one's 82, this book comes after this book. So that's kind of how you would search through the rows in the library to find a book. And then lastly, if you're having any trouble finding a book, you can always ask a librarian for help. I mean, that's their job. If you need any help, or if you need to find anything, or if you have any questions, that is exactly what their job is to do. Lastly, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you are all having a great weekend, and I hope you all have a great next week.